You are about to witness a global movement. The medical system has failed us. Pharmaceuticals are designed to make us sick, weak, dependent. Not anymore. This is the MedicineGirl podcast with renowned healing expert and registered nurse Robin Stebbins. Every week, we shine the light on new ways to heal your body from the root, ignite your inner healer, and tap into your divine wisdom. Begin to live harmoniously with your mind, body, and spirit. You are stronger than you think, braver than you realize. Now is the time to wake up and start living healthier, wealthier, and laugh out loud happier. And here we go.
Hello and welcome to the first podcast of Medicine Girl. I'm here with Laurie Wachob. That is not easy to say. To do my very first podcast on original medicine or first medicine and how to activate your inner healer. So Laurie, can you tell me a little bit about yourself and the viewers?
Sure. First of all, thank you so much for inviting me and including me on your first podcast. I'm so excited to be here. So let's see. My name is Laurie Wachob, and I've been a skincare consultant for about 7 years. But on the side, I do interviews. And I originally met Robin at a business conference. Mm-hmm. And I was really impressed with the way she does health coaching. So I wanted to include her with my interviews. And we did an interview in February. Mm-hmm. And I learned a lot about it, about kind of what you do with your clients, and it was really interesting. And so we've just been friends ever since.
Yeah, and I think it really speaks to when you're a little bit vulnerable with somebody and you express, well, I do skincare, but I also am passionate about interviewing. And then after you interviewed me, I was so impressed. I thought, you have to do this somehow in some capacity in your life. You have to interview people and you bring out like really good questions and
thank you.
You've got a gift.
Thank you. I enjoy it. The purpose of my channel is to help others build self-confidence and just have the tools that they need to go out there, follow their dreams, live the life that they are meant to be living. So I appreciate your positive feedback. Thank you.
Yeah, well, and I really resonate with people that are using their gifts for service. And I think to speak to that, to bring out your confidence, you can't do the work for somebody. You can't skip any steps for anyone, but you can reach a hand out. And a lot of times just knowing somebody's there supporting you in your journey helps to increase the success of your journey.
I agree. I think just having that community and, like you said, that support is so important because it takes a lot of work to have that self-confidence, especially if you don't have it to begin with, whatever your foundation is as a child or...
Definitely. And one thing I've come to realize in the last few years on my journey is that there's no such thing as, well, now I have self-confidence. I have self-confidence in this moment.
Yes.
Yes. And I can be assured that my self-confidence will fall at some other moment.
Absolutely.
It's embracing both sides of the coin, realizing that I can't love the sunshine without also loving the darkest of the nights. They're two of the same.
That's true. There's always going to be peaks and valleys. Yes. And if we learn to not get too high with the peaks and too low with the valleys, but just kind of be able to find that middle ground. And like you said, know that there's going to be, some days are going to be harder than others. And
this morning.
Yes.
I had a morning. But to that end, I think we have no control over how high the peaks go and how low the valleys go. What I feel for myself is being able to have an observance of those peaks and valleys. So I'm not caught in them. But I'm in the driver's seat knowing that if I'm in a deep valley or what I call the trough of the wave, the crest is coming.
Yes. Yeah.
The light is coming. We know that.
Mm-hmm.
So to be able to appreciate the valley, whatever that is, a death in the family or crisis at school, whatever it is, you can ride those storms a little easier.
Yes, I agree. And as long as you realize that nothing's going to last forever, that valley isn't.
And that's a great point too. Nothing's going to last forever. Mm-hmm. So when you're at the peak, not to get attached to it and clingy. That I think a recent conversation I had with someone, when you're at that peak or you're just riding the crest of that wave and it feels so wonderful, it's very easy to get attached. I want this to last forever. Yeah. How can I keep recreating this feeling?
That's so true.
Yeah, knowing full well we've got to go back in the trough. Yep. As well.
It's a good way to put it, actually. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, and to that end, when we're in the valleys, like you're saying, having someone reach out a hand.
Yeah.
Having someone say, I can't take away your struggle, but at least I'm here. I got a hand on your back. I'm with you.
You know, that's so true. Yeah. I had a friend the other day who posted on social media about how sometimes when you're in your darkest spot, you don't realize what other people are going through. And if you just actually reach a hand out to someone, it will not only help them, but it will help you as well.
That is true. Yeah. That's powerful medicine. And segueing into powerful medicine, I would like to ask you what you did. And if you can remember, it's going to be one of your earliest memories.
Okay.
You know, toddler and up.
Okay.
To that really formative stage, elementary school, where either you experienced a crisis, a trauma, or any kind of suffering. It doesn't have to be something major. I think a lot of people mistake trauma to be something really horrible happened.
Yeah.
But a trauma can be anything from getting a really bad grade or getting shamed in your art class in elementary school. Anything like that, what you did automatically without thinking about it to help yourself.
Okay. That is going back deep.
Yeah.
So and I'm going to be honest, I don't have the best memory anymore. Mm-hmm. And due to, I think, a lot of reasons, but my memory of childhood, and I would say for me, I don't remember, like you said, a major trauma mm-hmm. in my life, but my childhood was, for me personally, just felt a little traumatic only because I was super shy. Mm-hmm. You know, I tended to be made fun of. And so as a shy person, that's kind of hard.
Yeah, no, that's because I can relate to that. I was very shy, painfully shy.
Yes, so was I.
In public. Mm-hmm. But at home, around my tribe, you know, then I got to express who I was.
Yes.
In truth.
I think that would be true about me. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, I don't believe I was shy at home. Mm-hmm. Just painfully shy in public, at school, kind of scared of my own shadow. And so I do remember being like just almost scared as a child. Mm-hmm. You know, scared to be out there. And that's why I'm almost 52, and it has taken me, you know, probably up until my late 40s to really, really feel secure in who I am. And, but to answer your question, my memories as a child, to kind of comfort myself, I think, honestly, my memories are of me just kind of being in bed, laying under the blankets and cuddling up and just kind of, you know, maybe watching movies mm-hmm. and just
nesting.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Mm-hmm. That's what I remember.
And to that end too, it's never complicated. We don't create these really complicated self-soothing or healing mechanisms. We just gravitate towards something very quickly.
Okay.
So
Yes.
hiding under the covers and the blankets and kind of nesting or cocooning
Yes.
in a way.
Yes.
So I'm going to pause this because I know I just sprung to my mind. I have something here I want to try.
Oh, okay.
So this will be perfect to do kind of a before and after.
Okay.
Because what the whole point of this is to activate your inner healer so that you can do these really simple things that are customized to your soul.
Nice.
Instead of reading a bunch of stuff, in a women's magazine that says, 6 ways to reduce anxiety or 10 ways, it doesn't really resonate for me because that doesn't help me.
Right.
Or going under a blanket when I'm anxious or cocooning would be the opposite of what would help me.
Right.
So you could write a book on, hey, this is what soothes you. No, that's what soothes you.
Yeah, soothes me. Okay.
Okay, so we're going to take a brief pause and we'll be back in a moment. And we're back. Is it going?
Oh,
there it goes. We're back, and I have this, I think it's a 50-pound weighted blanket.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. And I got it secondhand because I really wanted to try it after listening to kind of that it's almost like an instant meditation where it just soothes your body and you're kind of wrapped up or almost swaddled.
Right.
So I put the blanket on Laurie and I put some eye patches over you. What was your experience?
Okay, so what was weird to me was because my body from here down was relaxed and it felt good. It was happy. But what was weird to me was my brain was just racing, and it was almost anxiety ridden. But I'm not a claustrophobic person, so I don't think it stemmed from that. But it was just all these thoughts were going through my head, and then I was even thinking, why does my body feel comfortable, but my head is about to explode? And so it was a weird, my head was totally
the dichotomy. like you're, it's a lot of times, and a lot of the work that I do is linking up the heart, the gut, the soul, the spirit, whatever you want to call it, with the mind. The mind replays stories. The mind gets into ego. The mind, I think what we talked about before on one of our interviews was, as you and I are conversing, I'm functioning at about 44 bits of information per second, communicating with you, brain to brain. My heart has a bundle of neurons, as does my gut. They're communicating at about 11 million bits per second.
Wow.
So the heart and the gut have a set of things that they're wanting, it's seeking. They've done recent studies that the heart can predict the future about 20 to 30 seconds ahead of time.
Really?
They've done that with gambling studies.
Wow.
With stacked decks. They'll deal a stacked deck after, 20 deals. The brain is like, hey, wait a minute, something's awry. The heart knew, I think, after 2 deals.
Really?
They started sweating. They started getting shaky when they picked up the stacked deck.
Wow.
Yeah. So cool. It's really interesting. But I think what happens, though, is when we listen to our hearts or our gut, it's not an automatic, oh, this is the right way. It's very anxiety producing because the brain is so conditioned through society, through what we should be doing. Yes. What we need to be doing, or is this right? And questioning, the brain will not turn off.
And that's true, because I was thinking about things I needed to do later during the day, and I couldn't just relax. And then I was worried, why can't I relax? I should be relaxing.
and that's the practice. Okay. As a human being, we all do it. There's no such thing in my mind as being enlightened. Yeah. Or getting there, or self-actualizing. Abraham Maslow's self-actualization hierarchy, pyramid. It's like you're never going to be there at the top. And if you are, you're going to go back down and redo another pyramid.
Yeah. Just like the peak.
Yeah. So it's this constant state of, okay, I'm aware, and that's all it takes. I'm aware that I'm feeling anxious right now, and my brain is running through thoughts. That's okay. Just to have the awareness of it and listen to it. But then to go back to that, your body felt good.
Mm-hmm. It did.
So, and so to cue into that, and if even if the brain stays active the whole however long of a session you do with your cocooning, and however you make it, it might be different in your home when it's on your time.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
Right. So, but like you said, even if my mind is racing, my heart and soul is being fed.
Yes.
Okay.
And eventually, I think for myself, what I've noticed is that we become teammates. I'm not in an adversarial relationship with my ego. I'm not in an adversarial relationship with these conflicts within myself. I'm just observing them all and loving and sending loving kindness to each and everyone.
That's nice.
Especially the anxiety, especially the racing thoughts. That needs the most love.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But I think listening to those things, and you bring up things that happen when you're young that are emotional. That brings up an emotion. That's a treasure.
Okay.
So Joseph Campbell said, "The cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek."
Wow, that's good.
It's so true. For myself, I've seen that has been spot on.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Just running my business over the years. When I first started, it was completely out of the box for me.
What business do you run?
Oh, so my Rodan and Field skincare business.
Okay.
It's a network marketing business, totally out of my box of comfort. And so that's so much of my growth has been from running this business, actually. Mm-hmm. But so I think what you said about walking into that cave, you'll find your treasure. It is so true. I've grown so much from just facing my fears and.
Well, and what you were saying, like, you grew up very shy.
Mm-hmm.
Sales is hard for us. that when that's you normally gravitate towards shyness.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
you're really stepping outside of your comfort zone.
And something that you had said, I think, in our interview that resonated with me too is living small instead of big.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's something like for me as being a shy person that I tended to do.
Yeah.
Live small. And
it's easy to hide. It's easy to spend lots of time alone, recharging in that way.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also, for myself, the question I've been asking is, how can I be of service? Yes. Right now, the cave I'm having to go in is cleaning up my house, cleaning up this vessel first. I can't be of service. I can't give you something I don't have. Right. So a lot of work has been transpiring in my life where it's been very personal growth, looking at where I've showed up poorly, looking at where I've made some mistakes I haven't forgiven myself for.
Oh, okay. Which is powerful.
It's very powerful. And again, I don't want to go in those caves.
Mm-hmm. Because that's scary.
It's scary.
Yeah.
It requires a lot of vulnerability on my part, self-vulnerability.
Yes.
Seeing where I lied to myself and realizing like I legitimately built a lot of lies around a lot of different things to keep doing certain behaviors or to keep hiding, to keep holding back.
Isn't that true? And we all do it.
We all do it.
And we don't necessarily realize that we do it.
It's when you don't realize it.
Mm-hmm.
And when I started doing some really deep work and meditating, it was obvious. It just obvious to the point where I was like, how did I not see that?
Wow. Isn't that something? Mm-hmm. But our ego is so
tricky.
Yeah, it's tricky. And it keeps you from, because it doesn't want you to see it.
It doesn't want you to see it because the ego doesn't want to change. the ego is terrified of change and transformation. It wants to hold on, like,
Yes,
Chicken
it
Little, the
does.
sky is falling. Don't do this.
Yes,
please.
it does. It absolutely
It will
does.
talk you out of everything. So to this end, and to really speak to what I hear from you, is to go outside your comfort zone when the heart's leading you.
Yes. And I think what you said about serving others, I had such a good feeling about doing these interviews. They started.
You're so good at it.
Oh, thank you.
I love
That's so nice. Thank
to see you do it. Yeah, you shine.
Oh, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's why I got out of my comfort zone to do them, is because it was so important to me to help others.
Mm-hmm.
And it started with helping small businesses and just getting the word out there about them. But then as I, kept doing them, I realized I had, so many amazing people in my life like you who have their own information to share.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to get that information out there. So,
yeah.
So that overtook the fear I had of doing videos.
That's what I've seen awakens the heart to your path, to following your North Star, but it also helps you bypass the fear. It's almost like if your kid's in trouble, you'll do anything. The shyness is gone instantly.
Right.
This is a little more tricky because it takes a little more time and setting up and really saying, am I just doing this to overcome a fear, or is this like heart-centered?
Mm-hmm.
So we do either motivated by two things, fear or love. Okay, so if it's from love, like, I want to be of service, show me how to be of service. The universe was saying, again, fix yourself, heal yourself. That's not the cave I wanted to go into. I'm like, give me a ditch to dig. I'll be the fastest and the hardest to dig it. Like, give me a task, let me just do something. And it wasn't that. It was allow, meditate, work on yourself, and
go into that cave.
And now I'm starting to see the treasure.
Wow.
And I think that's similar to what I'm hearing you say.
Mm-hmm.
It's those little small things, and it's going into the arena,
right,
to be judged.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
The spectators are out there and they're going to judge, but to have the ability to say, as a spectator, you're not in the arena, you're not in a place to judge me. Right. Somebody else is in the arena that's giving me constructive criticism, definitely. It's not easy to hear anytime. Yeah. But I will listen to that. But the spectators, I need to build up a little thicker skin with.
Yeah. And I learned, for me, something that helped. I used to teach fitness classes, which again was also completely out of the box, completely. And I read a book. I can't think of his name right now. Dr. Wayne
Dyer?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you. And he said something in there that really kind of made a difference for me in terms of feeling comfortable to teach a fitness class. And it's about letting go of ego and living in spirit. And it's like, once you don't make things be about your ego, and you, just like you said, and you learn that you're serving others, it makes such a big difference in that fear factor for me.
And I think too, Laurie, what I really have found to be helpful in that is not to see the ego as an adversary. The ego is how I can love another person. It shows me I'm separate.
And I struggle with that. You can probably tell, huh?
Yeah. Because I think especially the way the pendulum swings, that far over. First it was, the ego is bad and kill the ego.
Yeah.
As we're kind of coming back around, I think it's important to recognize how valuable the ego is. You couldn't love your children without your ego. The ego came in with us as human beings.
So there's a reason for it.
So it's almost like the appendix. The appendix is a really good part of our, it's a good filter, and it's an important part of our bodies.
Yeah.
Everything on our bodies is nothing comes in that needs to be cut out.
Yes.
It's not superfluous.
Yeah.
We just haven't seen the value in it. So I think too, seeing the value in your ego, observing it as you would say a toddler. If you don't listen to the toddler, they're just going to get louder and louder until you have to listen or respond in a way that maybe might not be in your highest self.
That's a good analogy.
So then listen with a loving ear. You don't have to act on it then. Thank you for your message, dear ego. I appreciate that. We're not playing that tape today, or we're not going to go down that road today.
Okay.
But then when you can link up with all these different facets of who you are, the heart self or the emotional self, none of them are to be judged or condemned.
Right. Okay. That's good. Yeah. Like you said, teach them all to love each other.
Yeah. And the ego too will point out where you need to be worked, where the work needs to be done. Right. Is probably a better way to say that. It points out your triggers. Oh, I just got really triggered in this interaction with somebody at a grocery store.
Oh, okay.
And I'm observing myself getting really emotional and realizing I have a lot of work to do around this. It's not them.
Yeah, it's your trigger.
It's my trigger.
Yes.
Oh, they struck an old wound about feeling unworthy. And so now I get to go home.
Isn't that something?
Yeah. Yeah.
But and I've been working on that too, realizing.
But without the ego, though, we wouldn't know where to look.
Okay.
There's billions of stimuli coming in throughout the day. Where am I going to work?
That's true.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is like, zero in. Here you go.
Yep.
Here's some work to do.
And that makes sense. And that's what I've been doing too. I've been trying to really pay attention to what's my triggers, and that's on me. That's not on the person who triggered me.
And what I've been doing also, if my son triggers me around homework, and to be able to voice that, like, oh, I'm really triggered right now. This is taking me back to my math.
Oh, yes.
I couldn't learn this. I would end up crying every time, and then I'm starting to cry trying to teach him math that I don't understand.
Because they do it completely different now.
They do it completely different now. But voicing that to him has completely changed our relationship.
Oh, I bet. Because now he understands that
it's not him.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with him. Then I get to be vulnerable with him and say, I couldn't learn this stuff either when I was in school. So let's try and figure out a way we can both learn this together.
Oh, that's nice. That's really nice.
So that's the teammate approach to the ego. Okay. Instead of falling behind.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense.
And being underneath it. So now I'm locked and loaded in a horrible homework.
Yeah.
math horror.
Yes.
With my son. Instead of that, it's this beautiful learning experience for both of us.
That's nice. And like you said, changed your relationship.
Right.
For in that process. Oh, that's very good. And I see what you're saying. The ego.
So that's the value for that. The value of the ego, as long as it's not in the driver's seat.
That's a good point. As long as we don't let it drive.
And the awareness is, oh, hey, you were driving for a little bit there.
Okay.
Let's get out. It's my turn to drive.
I'm going to take over.
I'm going to get back and take over the wheel. It's like letting a toddler drive your car.
Okay.
Getting in the back and hoping for the best.
Yeah.
That's not going to turn out well.
No.
Pretty sure. So
okay, well, thank you. That's like that actually makes a lot of sense, and it helps me put perspective.
And it's all, and so then back to the whole purpose of the interview and linking up more with your heart and your spirit, and then teammating with the ego, giving the ego as much love as the heart and the spirit and all those things about yourself you love. Okay. When you start to love the shadows sides, or the things that we might label
like the darker side.
On the darker side.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get rid of good and bad because it's really helping me a lot.
The labels.
Okay, yeah. Like this anxiety's bad, depression's bad. They're messengers to me right now.
They're a lesson. They're bringing you
to
they're
bringing me a message. Yeah. That's all. And to work with them in that way, and it sounds counterintuitive, but to say, be as big as you need to be. Show me the message. Because we're always trying to say, no, I don't want to feel anxious. That's bad.
Yeah.
I don't want to feel depressed. That's bad.
That's true.
But instead, just saying, okay, what's your message for me? Be as big as you need to be. And that, for me, has released the grips from, weeks to maybe a few days.
That's amazing.
And there's always some deep messages.
Oh, I bet. But like you said, you kind of have to be aware of them and open to them.
And then go into the cave.
And
the cave doesn't get any easier. It's like, oh, good. Now I get to go in the cave to seek my treasure. It's like, no, I don't want to go in that cave. It's always where you don't want to go.
Yes. And that's what holds us back. Or at least I feel like that.
No, absolutely it does. It's playing it safe.
Yeah. Playing it small.
Playing small.
Yep.
And I don't think one person on this planet was born. It would almost be like looking at a newborn baby and saying, okay, you're going to play small.
Yeah. Because we were born to play big.
Yeah.
But your society, everything kind of
programming, and especially as women too.
Mm-hmm.
There's some programming there, and not to be a victim under it, but understand what the programming is so we can deprogram it.
Right. That's a really good way to put it. Absolutely. And I think just becoming more aware and in our part and what we can do just individually even.
Yeah.
Can make a difference.
Yes. So in wrapping up, I want to kind of see how maybe you can integrate your original medicine, first medicine into your life today.
Okay. The cocooning.
Yeah, the cocooning and the blanketing.
Well, I admit sometimes I'm laying in bed at night and I just want to just like curl up. And it's so funny because I always wonder, like, why am I feeling this way? Because it's not necessarily at the end of a bad day or anything. It's just like, I just kind of want to cozy up.
You need a recharge, maybe.
I guess so. So I guess what I need to do then, and I'll be honest, I usually just kind of, sort of poo-poo it away and because I like to sleep on my back. So cocooning for me is just like on the side, cuddled up. And so I kind of like make it go away so I can just lay on my back and go to sleep. Yeah. So I'll try to honor that.
Honor it in a way too, like we were talking about though, that honors all facets of you. So if you want to cocoon on your side, maybe do like a half back, or do when we position patients that are in a coma, you position them on these pillows and you switch positions every time. And I can show you that later.
Oh, okay.
But it's so soothing.
Wow.
The way like everything is elevated and you just feel like you're floating on a cloud.
Oh, really?
And then maybe even with a weighted blanket.
Yeah.
That could honor both things that you're wanting, to lie on your back in case you fall asleep.
Yeah.
But then get that, like, I just want to cozy up. And
especially
this time of year.
Oh,
it's like perfect time for
definitely
blankets and cocooning.
Yeah. No, I'd like for you to show me sometime. That would be
perfect.
Good.
Easy.
So, okay, I will honor that and I will stop kicking my ego to the curb because that's what I've been trying to do for years.
I know. I was in the same boat.
Okay. Yeah. So I will honor my ego and listen to it and know that it has a message for me.
It's got a message.
Okay, I will do that.
All right, Laurie, thank you so much.
Thank you, Robin.
And I couldn't have asked for a better person to have on my first podcast.
Oh, thank you.
All right.
Thanks. Thank you.